Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of the restoration of my mid-1960s Craftsman drill press. In part 1, I disassembled it and restored pretty much everything on the head. In this video, we're going to finish it up and get it back into service. All right, got the posts cleaned up. They cleaned up really well with the fiber wheel and then just polished them with the white compound. They don't need to be perfect, just want them clean. Got my grommet taped off, ran this through a sandblaster, just did a real quick sandblasting on it. So now I'm going to get a couple coats of satin black on here. Okay, I'm going to say the motor's ready to go back on the plate as soon as the paint's dry and ready to go. All right. I don't want to take away any of these original milli marks, so I'm going to start with sanding at 120. Maybe this is a better angle. So I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm not going to do anything else to this. I like the way the very light surface rust is kind of showing off the grain or the milli marks. So I'm going to leave it just like this. I'm not going to use crud cutter or Zep. There's really no grease on there. It's just dust and dirt. So I'm just going to use a spray glass cleaner and a soft briar brush or a brass brush to agitate it. Just agitate that dirt. And hopefully this will be all I need to do. Yeah, that looks good. All right, I'll just get the whole body done like that, and I'm going to clean the inside of this where it goes up and down on the mast so it's nice and smooth. I do have a few places where I've got just a little bit of paint loss and some rust, as you can see. I had a guy leave a comment on one of my toolbox cleanups. I think it was the Black Hawk I did a couple weeks ago, who said that when he does cleanups like this and it's not repainting, he will take these raw areas and put a little bluing solution on it. So I think I'm going to give that a try. I'm sorry I can't remember his name, but if I can go back and find it in the comments, I will put it in the description of this video. That was really nice of him to make that suggestion. I don't know if you can tell, but I think the gun bluing did great on that. That was a great tip. Okay, got the table lock done, all cleaned and polished up. I'm gonna have to lay it down and probably tap it out. Again, I'm gonna soak it real good, and then I'll probably put some heat on this thing tonight or tomorrow. It's just this mast will be a lot easier to clean up if I can get it out of here. Rather than trying to hammer the mast back through the base, I'm going to set this up on my workbench and see if I can, with soft blow hammer, knock the base off the mast, if I can find a way to hold this thing still. I have no idea if this is going to work or not, but I've got a strap wrapped around my bench, and I've got this thing clamped down really tight so the pole won't slide. And then I'm going to probably have to put some heat to this and see if I can knock the base off that way. Oh, it's moving. Ooh, and it's hot. Oh, it's going to come right out now. Nice. I'm sure it's very hot. So that goes in there, and the set screw pushes up against it, and this pushes around here. Very cool. All right, I wasn't particularly real happy with the way the 120 random orbital did. It left all these little swirly marks in it. So I'm just going to take some 180 by hand and go over the whole thing. I've done this right here. It's looking a little better. I'm going to use the same process on the base as I did on the table, which is just to use this spray glass cleaner and a soft brass bristle brush to loosen the dirt and then just clean it off. All right, I'm ready to get the drill press back together. All right, first thing's going to be to get this wedge back in here. And get the set screw started. And this wedged area here goes this way so that it lines up with the mast, and we'll lock it in place. top heavy. All right, let's put the motor mount bracket back in. For these set screws, I just cold blued them and I put some 3-in-1 oil on them to make them go in easier. Give them that extra layer of rust protection. All right, this bolt goes in here and it goes through that grommet that we saw earlier on the motor base plate. And that is how you can lock this in and keep your motor level. I say we give the motor a try to make sure we got everything hooked back up correctly. Oh, got the switch on upside down. All right, got the switch done. Now I'm going to get the belt. This is the original belt, and you can see it's just really dry and cracked. So if you just bend it just slightly, it just breaks. And I hate that because it's the original belt with the Craftsman's name on it. All right, let's give it a test with the belt on. I think I've got it tensioned okay. So I'm just gonna hit the power and see what happens. Oh wow, it's not making any of the noise up here it was before. Now, pretty happy with the way this whole thing came out, except for one thing, and that is the spring for the spindle. It's worse than it was before because it's not clogged full of grease. I tried it both ways with the spring this way and the spring that way. Same result. So I think the spring is shot. I did a little bit of research online, mostly on the Garage Journal, and you can't get this spring anymore, but some guys offer some replacements. Unless there's another problem that's causing this, if somebody knows, I would greatly appreciate it in the comments. This is my first drill press restoration, but man, I really like this drill press. But let's give this thing a shot. We're gonna put it through the test. Okay, I just got a piece of scrap oak. I want something a little hard. Let's see how it does. And this is a 1/4-inch drill bit. And let me tell you, these are cheap drill bits. Other than the fact there's no spring return, works beautiful. Now I'm going to put it through the torture test. I've got a 2-inch Forstner bit on here. Let's see how it does. Look at there. No burning. I love it. It's just not going to be very usable until I get that spring fixed. It's kind of a pain. Well, I'm really happy how this old drill press turned out. This is a mid-60s Craftsman. I believe it's made by Emerson based on the model number that starts with 113. I ended up doing a little bit more to it than what I had originally planned. I was just going to kind of wipe it down and test it out and use it, and then I just started taking it apart and having fun with it. So I don't know if you call it a restoration or not. It doesn't really matter. But hey, it's back in service now and it's clean and looks good. So a little disappointed about the spring. Again, if somebody out there knows more about these, because this is my first one, if you saw me do something wrong and why the spring's not retracting, please let me know. If not, I'm going to think the spring's shot and I'll get it replaced soon because I'm going to use this. I'm going to keep this one set up for wood drilling, and then my Rikon over here, I'll reset the speed on that to make it more compatible with metal drilling. Anyway, can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.